How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Sick Eric Tech, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the Google Pixel 10 Pro and the OnePlus 13R. Now, I know the OnePlus 15 just came out, but the 13R is still an excellent choice. Even the OnePlus 13 is an excellent choice when it comes down to that, and it's worth to see what the difference is between these two fantastic devices. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we do, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And let's get started. Going on over to the size and dimensions of both of these guys. So the Pixel 10 Pro over here is the smaller device, coming in at 6.02 inches tall, 2.83 inches wide, and 0.33 inches thin. So it is a nice compact design. Feels real comfortable in the hand with these rounded edges on here and these rounded corners, sort of like an iPhone, but just a little bit more of a different feel to it. And it is definitely not too heavy, coming in about 7.30 ounces. Pretty Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and on the back with an aluminum frame. Now, I do have the skin from D-Brand. I believe it's the circuitry skin on here, so looks really good. Definitely like this, but this is going to be the obsidian color of my version. Going on over to the size and dimensions of the OnePlus. So definitely a little bit of a bigger device. It is coming in at 6.37 inches tall, 2.98 inches wide, and 0.31 inches thin. So a little bit of a thinner device. As far as weight goes, 7.27 ounces. So surprisingly a little lighter too, even though it is bigger than the Google Pixel. As far as the Gorilla Glass, it is going to be Gorilla Glass 7 on the front and on the back. And then you also do get an aluminum frame on here. And it also does have a boxy feeling, but the OnePlus has a little bit more sharper edges on these sides, especially on the front side. The back side just a little bit more rounded off, but the edges are a little bit more sharper on the OnePlus, and the corners aren't as rounded as the Pixel as well. So both of these devices do have in-display fingerprint sensors. As you can see right there, the Pixel is going to be a ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, while the OnePlus is going to be a standard optical fingerprint sensor. But both of them work really well when it comes down to unlocking the device. And both of them do have facial recognition as well. As the Pixel takes it a little bit further with that facial recognition, being able to use it with your banking apps and things like that. So it's a little bit more secure. Now, both of these devices do offer eSIM support, although the Pixel does not offer a physical SIM. It is eSIM only, so keep that in mind. I've had my SIM on the Pixel for so long just because it's an inconvenience to switch back and forth between eSIMs, and I've just sort of been content using the Pixel. And yeah, so eSIM only on the Pixel, which is kind of unfortunate. The Pixel is IP68 water and dust resistance, immersible up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes, while the OnePlus over here is IP65 water and dust proof. So a little bit more protection on the Pixel over the OnePlus 13R. Going on over to the display. So the Pixel has an LTPO OLED display. It is 6.3 inches, 120 hertz, supports HDR10 plus, and gets at a peak brightness of 2200 nits, all the way up to 3300 nits peak brightness. So it can get a little bit brighter, and you definitely notice that. You also do have 480 hertz PWM dimming. That way, if you have sensitive eyes, it will help out just a little bit. The resolution is 1280 by 2856 on the Pixel, with 495 pixels per inch. Going on over to the OnePlus 13R, LTPO 4.1 AMOLED, supports 1 billion colors, also has 120 hertz, supports HDR10 plus, Dolby Vision, HDR Vivids, and gets at a peak brightness of 4500 nits. So a little bit brighter over here on the OnePlus, but to tell you the truth, you really can't tell the difference. Both of these devices get really bright outdoors, and you will have no issues viewing them in direct sunlight. These are fantastic displays. They're beautiful. They produce colors accurately. The only thing I would say is that the OnePlus is bigger, so it will be a little bit better for content watching and playing games, but they're both fantastic, beautiful devices. The bezels on both of these are actually quite minimum. Not too bad when it comes down to the bezels, so there you go for that. Going on over to the operating system, the OnePlus is still on Android 15, with Oxygen OS 15, but we do have Oxygen OS 16 coming really soon to the OnePlus 13. I believe it's already out for the 13, and it will be coming to the 13R soon. You're running the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor on the OnePlus with the Adreno 750, and this variant is going to be the 12 gigabyte 256 storage on the OnePlus 13R with UFS 4.0 storage. Going on over to the Pixel, it is running Android 16 right now, and this is going to have 7 major updates, while the OnePlus is going to have 4 major updates. Forgot to mention that. And you are running the Google Tensor G5 chipset with UFS 4.0 as well. This variant is going to be the 16 gigabyte 256 storage for the Pixel. And as far as performance goes, I would say the OnePlus just does things a little bit faster than the Pixel does when it comes down to processing power. As we all know, Google Tensor chips are a little bit more smarter. They're not really powerhouses. And I noticed using the Pixel that things just don't get done as quickly, especially rendering video. It's almost impossible to do some types of video on the Pixel. And OnePlus just processes things a little bit better, rendering video and just completing tasks on the OnePlus just seems a little bit more faster and fluent. Downloading stuff, the Pixel gets the job done. It's just not as fast as the competition when it comes down to processing power. The operating system, so the Pixel is running stock Android, while OnePlus, you got Oxygen OS, and I would say that the OnePlus offers a little bit more when it comes down to customization on their devices. You're able to customize with a little bit more themes on here and able to customize your icons, your fonts, your colors, your animation for your fingerprint sensor, your edge lighting. You get a lot more customization on Oxygen OS than you do on the Pixel. Right now I'm running Launcher on the Pixel 10 Pro, so it will give you a little bit more customizations. But as far as these stock customizations over here on the Pixel, let's go ahead and take a look at both of these side by side. If you go into Pixel wallpaper style and then OnePlus wallpaper styles right here, this is the difference between the two. You can change your clocks on the Pixel, but you only get a limited amount of clocks. While over here on the OnePlus, you do get some different options for your clocks and some stickers and some things for your always on display as well. And if you go into over here, you can change your clock style just a little bit, but the Pixel does offer a little bit more different styles for clocks. You could also change your color and your size for both of these. And you go back again, while over here in the Pixel, you can change your icons, but just mainly the color of the icons. You do not get any icon packs or anything like that for the Pixel when it comes down to wallpapers and style. So the OnePlus does offer a little bit more customization on their devices, and the OnePlus is definitely a lot more faster and fluid, especially with their animations. OnePlus animations just look really good when you're opening files and going back to your home screen. It just has more of a smoother feel to it than the Pixel, and just more of that nicer animation look and bounciness to it. So going down to the cameras of both of these, so the Pixel has a 50 megapixel main sensor with OIS. It is f.17. You get a 48 megapixel periscopic telephoto lens also with iOS, and that's give you 5 times optical zoom. You also do get a 48 megapixel ultra wide with 120 degree field of view. Your front-facing camera is a 42 megapixel with an aperture of f2.2, and it does also do have PDAF for autofocus, and that is going to be your front-facing camera. You can record all the way up to 8K 30 frames per second on the rear and up to 4K 60 on the front. Now going on over to the OnePlus over here, you get a 50 megapixel main sensor, aperture of f1.8. Does have optical image stabilization. You also do get a 50 megapixel telephoto lens, which is fantastic and nice to see for a device like this. With an aperture of f2.0, this gives you only 2 times optical zoom, so it is not as good as the Pixel, but it's there. You also do get an 8 megapixel ultra wide with an aperture of f2.2. Your front facing camera is going to be a 16 megapixel camera with aperture of f2.4. And it's nice to see a telephoto lens on the OnePlus. As far as the zoom goes, the Pixel is going to win, obviously, with better zoom quality, and you are able to zoom in a lot further with the Pixel than you are with the OnePlus, but it's nice to see a telephoto lens on a device like this, and it does pretty well. So it's not going to be no slouch when it comes down to the photos. The Pixel might take a little bit better photos when it comes down to their processing. As we all know, Google's processing is a lot better than other devices, but they're both really good. The OnePlus comes out a little bit more contrasty and saturated with its colors. Video-wise, the Pixel definitely wins when it comes down to video. The OnePlus, especially when it comes down to panning on the OnePlus, it has that rubber band effects to where if you're panning from left to right, it's going to have this jerkiness to it, which is kind of annoying. But photos, to each his own. Hopefully you guys check this out and comment down below on which one do you think looks better when it comes down to photos. Just took a few, nothing too serious here, and a little bit of video samples. So let's go ahead and take a look at those really quick. All right, so what do you guys think of the photos and the video taken on the Pixel and on the OnePlus? Which one looks better? Comment down below. Now, to keep in mind that the OnePlus can only record up to 1080p on the front-facing camera, while I said the Pixel over here can record up to 4K, so there is another downfall for the OnePlus 13r. Both of these devices do have stereo speakers, and none of them have headphone jacks, so keep that in mind. The OnePlus does not have any Dolby Atmos like its sibling, the OnePlus 13, but audio is still fantastic on both of these. So let's go ahead and take a listen of the speaker quality of both of these devices. All right, so what you guys think of the speaker quality? Which one sounded better? Comment down below. So as far as Bluetooth goes, the OnePlus 13R has Bluetooth 5.4, and it also does have Wi-Fi 6E. Going on over to the Pixel, you get Bluetooth 6.0 with Wi-Fi 7, so a little bit better connectivity over here on the Pixel. But to tell you the truth, Bluetooth audio sounds perfectly fine on both of these, no issues as far as distance. They both have a pretty good range of distance before they actually cut out, so that's also really good. Going on over to the batteries of both of them. So the Pixel does offer a 4870 milliamp hour battery with 30 watt wired charging and 15 watt wireless charging. And the kicker is that this also does have magnetic wireless charging, which means it has the Pixel Snap feature on here to where you can use all of your MagSafe chargers and all of your MagSafe accessories for the Pixel without having to use a case. And this is a game changer for Android right here. So far, this is the only Android phone to have this feature built in, and it's kind of upset that the OnePlus 15 that just got released did not include magnets on their device, just because they said it would make it too thick. Yet the Pixel over here did it, and it's just fine. It's really not that much thicker than the OnePlus 13R, and this is an absolute game changer. I love this feature. You do not need a case to use it, and I use this all the time without having to need a case on there. So I've been rocking the Pixel 10 Pro without a case, just with the skin, for a while now, and I've only dropped it once. I do have a little bit of a scuff right here, but only dropped it once. Screen protector got cracked, not the actual device, so I'm taking a risk without using a case. But definitely love it that you don't need a case to use all your accessories. While if you're on a OnePlus, you do not get any features like that. On the battery though, you do get a 6000 silicon carbon battery over here on the OnePlus 13R. Now this is going to give you 80-watt charging, no wireless charging, so keep that in mind. But silicon carbon, 6000 milliamps and 80-watt charging definitely blows the Pixel out of the water when it comes down to battery life for the OnePlus 13R. And in the charging speeds, it's just ridiculous. You also do get a charger in the box with the OnePlus 13R. You do not get a charger in the box with the Pixel 10 Pro, so keep that in mind. Battery life, definitely OnePlus right here is the winner when it comes down to battery life. You're easily going to get 1 day, maybe even 2 days of battery life with the OnePlus 13R, while the Pixel, you're going to have to charge this thing at the end of the night, just because the battery life is not going to last you 2 days or more than a day. Depending on your usage, you might be able to get a day and a half out of the Pixel, but for me, it's definitely a 1 day phone, while the OnePlus is definitely a 2-day phone. Going on over to the colors of both of these. So the OnePlus does come in 2 different colors. You get an Astral Trail and a Nebula Noir. This is going to be the Astral Trail color, and it sort of has like this spiral effect on the back etched into the glass. I don't know if you could see that all too well, but it also does have a nice texture to it on the OnePlus. Might be a little slippery, but it definitely love this design and this color of the OnePlus 13R. While the Pixel, like I said, I do have a skin on here, but this is going to be the Obsidian. It also comes in Moonstone, Jade, and Porcelain for the Pixel. Going on over the design and the layout of all of these. So the Pixel does switch the power button and the volume rocker over here. So the power button is above the volume rocker, while the OnePlus keeps the traditional power and then volume up top. Going on over to the bottom of these devices, you do get your USB ports and your speaker grills, while over here on the OnePlus you do get a SIM card tray, while the Pixel you do not. Going on over to this side, Pixel does not have anything, while the OnePlus retains the volume slider on here, the alert slider, so that it's also a nice feature. The OnePlus 15 got rid of that, and the OnePlus 13 still retains that. Going up top, the OnePlus, you do have an IR blaster, which is fantastic. You do not get any IR blaster on the Pixel, so there's another feature for the OnePlus. And yeah, as far as design goes, they're actually pretty nice. Taking a look at the camera design, OnePlus sticks with that traditional rounded camera, while the Pixel sticks with that visor on the back. Of course, as we all know, the OnePlus 15 got rid of the round cameras, and the OnePlus 13 and 13R are the last to feature that rounded stovetop camera. So either you like it or you don't. Going on over to Pixel, as far as wobble wise, the OnePlus does have a little bit of a wobble, while the Pixel, nice and steady with that camera bump going all across. So there you go for that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and comparison of the OnePlus 13R and the Google Pixel 10 Pro. If you guys did, give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time here on Sick Eric Tech, where we like to keep tech simple. Peace.